I'm happy to bring on our guest, Senator Joel Anderson from California's 38th District, because we've got a lot of talk about what's going to happen to California if we continue down this crazy path. Donald Trump said he would do something about it. Now he's actually doing something. Senator, welcome to McIntyre in the Morning.
Rob, thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Glad to have you on board. So I take it that you're against the sanctuary state movement, correct?
Well, the current bill, it shields felons. So it shields pedophiles, rapists, murderers, so they can be returned to our communities. And I don't think any rational Californian wants more pedophiles back in their community. These people should be deported. They're dangerous, and they have no right to stay in our country.
You know, it's so strange hearing the argument from the left that this is absolutely necessary we do this. Now, we make, in talk radio, we make the comment all the time is, you know, how does this help California? Because we know personally it doesn't help the state. It hurts the state, and it costs us billions of dollars a year and so forth. And, of course, it has a huge impact when it comes to crime, as you've pointed out. So the left is now in a position where, as you've pointed out also, that they've got to defend criminals. I mean, how could you, as liberal as our state is, how can you defend that?
Well, even our top cop, our Attorney General Becerra.
Well, which one? We have two now. We have Eric Holder helping Becerra because Becerra was apparently incompetent, so we had to hire another Attorney General. Isn't that right?
Well, I would love to take the bait, but I'm not going
okay.
to. So
I know you're in a different position than me.
Well, normally I would take that bait and enjoy the ride.
Yes.
But this is so serious. The fact that our top cop said that he believed that the most heinous criminals need to be deported, and now his hands are shackled, and he's unable to cooperate with ICE to deport these very people. There's a lot of great arguments on why dreamers may be protected.
Right.
But there's no good argument to keep child molesters, rapists, and murderers in our prisons only to be returned to our communities. These people need to be deported. In SB 54, our President Pro Tem, Kevin De Leon, that's his bill. Mm-hmm. He's from Los Angeles. Yeah. And I'm hoping he hears from his constituents that he's gone too far.
Well, the other day we played a sound cut from the President Pro Tem, and in the sound cut he was talking on the floor of the legislature, and he was talking about, at least he brought up the Kate Steinle case, the young woman. Do we still have? Let's play that cut.
My heart goes to the Steinle family because I think this was a horrible tragedy. And my heart goes to the mother and to the father. And it was very clear, as Senator Scott Wiener had pointed out, it was incompetence on part of Homeland Security and ICE and the federal government. It's a horrible thing that happened. It's not a reflection of the hardworking immigrants who come to this country every single day.
Now that, Senator, with all due respect of your colleagues, that was very insulting to many people, including myself and Doug McIntyre, the host of the show, that Kevin De Leon, a proponent of, whether he agrees with it or not, obviously he would disagree with me saying this, a proponent of more Americans dying at the hands of illegals, that he would say such a thing and insult many Americans, many Californians, as well as the family of Kate Steinle, who was viciously murdered, a young woman that had her life ended because of illegal immigration and specifically the sanctuary city policies of San Francisco. So, listen, you're in good company, at least with thinking people here in the state. The problem is that folks like you are far and few between, it seems, in the political business here in the state.
Well, on this issue, we certainly are the superminority on the legislature. Yep. But the legislature, interestingly, responds strongly when our constituents start calling our offices and reminding us that we work for them. And so all I'm asking is that if you agree that rapists and murderers and child molesters should be deported, we should be contacting our legislator and telling them that so that they understand there's a huge distinction between dreamers, people here trying to improve their life, from people that are trying to prey on both the dreamers and the U.S. citizens. So to me, it's very clear, and I'm just trying to get the word out as far and as deep as possible before this bill is just ramrodded through. I get the emotion that some of the leadership has towards Trump, but we're elected not to lead with emotion. We're elected to lead with common sense. And so I'm asking for a little common sense on this issue. Now, I will tell you, if you say in the Capitol that you think that anybody here undocumented is a criminal for any reason, they immediately say you think all undocumented people are hardened criminals and horrible people. Mm-hmm. That's not true. But if you're to tell me that we don't have an undocumented felon in our prisons right now, then you're a crime denier. You deny the fact that some of these people are bad people and they prey on everyone. And that's why this bill is so dangerous. And I get that they're doing what they think is best, but it's harming our communities. And everybody who lives in California should be outraged.
Well, another thing, and I agree with you, in Los Angeles we have another problem that's not unique to Los Angeles, but we happen to be the hit-and-run capital of the world. And we had Congressman Tom McClintock was on with us last week, and I brought this point up to him that we all know Kate Steinle in that particular case, but what people don't talk about, having been a victim of illegal alien crime twice in my life since I've lived here, I can tell you that there is a big problem in Los Angeles with people that shouldn't have driver's licenses and don't have insurance, that have driver's license and still don't have insurance, running into people, leaving the scene of the crime. And it is a criminal act, and people die. And we have politicians here locally, including the police chief of the LAPD, defending these people by letting them keep their cars when they do get stopped. And the people of California, the taxpayers of California are hurting. And, we need people to represent us. And it seems like we have a whole legislature that's representing people from other countries. It's very strange.
Well, we see that a lot with serial DUIs, right? I mean, a person that has 5 or 6 DUIs, they're going to have 10 or 11 or 12. They're not going to stop until they kill or maim somebody. I believe that if you have a serial DUI, that you should be deported. And I had a reporter say to me, well, what about all the other rapists, murderers, and child molesters? If I could find a country dumb enough to accept them, I'd deport them too. I don't want these criminals coming back to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
The nonsense that people are saying to protect these hardened criminals is outrageous, and we shouldn't tolerate it. We deserve better from government, and every legislator, it's their job to make government work for you. And on this bill, we're failing at our job.
I understand, and it also does something else to hurt Californians. What it's going to do is it is going to penalize the state, because we have President Trump in office now who campaigned on this, that will penalize sanctuary cities and obviously a sanctuary state like California by withholding federal funding. Now, how can you argue that that's not going to hurt Californians if he does it? And all you have to do is just obey the law to get the money, right?
Right, but let me try to define that down a little better.
All right.
It's not just random money. The federal government pays for all the illegals in our prisons. Mm-hmm. These are federal prisoners. So if we warehouse them, then the feds have 3 choices. They can deport them, they can move them to a federal facility, or they can reimburse us at the federal rate for having them in our prisons. If we won't tell them who's in our prisons, then we're walking away from that money.
No kidding.
The federal government gives us police grants to help double down on crime. You have a lot of gangs that are international gangs, and it's full of people who are undocumented. I'm not saying every undocumented person is a gang member, but we know M13 and other gangs originated out of our country and have a strong hold here. So there are federal monies to pursue those folks. We lose those grants. When you tell somebody, even if you pay for a car, I'm not going to deliver you a car, then no one's going to give you money for a car. In our jails and prisons and some of the sheriff's jails, we have ICE renting offices.
Yeah.
And ICE officers, agents, there in the facility doing their job. This bill would prohibit them from being there.
Oh, it's nuts.
If you were to call our, say, Folsom prison, and you were to say, my wife is supposed to be paroled, what date? They would say, oh, it's going to be Friday. So you know to show up and pick her up. If you were to say, I'm ICE and I'm looking for Jane Doe, they'd say, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. Well, can you tell me what the parole date is so I can pick them up before that pedophile's return to my community? The answer is no.
No, it's
so is this not nonsense?
It's crazy.
We're creating a double standard to shield these folks, and they're bad folks. We're not talking about people walking down the streets. We're talking about people serving serious time in our prisons. And yet those are the very people that we're shielding with this bill. And that's why it's so wrong.
Well, listen, thank you so much for explaining it to us and explaining the depth of the, I don't want to be insulting to our friends in the legislature, but the depth of the stupidity and the arrogance coming from that branch of our state government. Thank you so much, Senator Joel Anderson.
Rob,
Yes.
Before I go, one last quick thing.
Okay.
If you go to my website, there's a button on my website. You can click it. You can sign a petition.
Okay.
I'm going to collect names and deliver it to our President Pro Tem and show him that people are deeply concerned. So I ask that people come to my website.
What is the
click
website?
On the button, sign up. If they just Google Joel Anderson, Senator Anderson, it pops right up. And but it's so simple and so easy.
Even I could do that.
And the other thing they can do is call their legislator and say, stop the nonsense.
Senator, thank you so much for coming on with us. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.